In a smartphone world dominated by Android and iOS, Nokia and Microsoft hoping there's room for one more competitor. First announced at CES 2012, the Windows Phone 7.5 powered Lumia 900 enters the world with a lot of pressure on its rectangular shoulders. Let's go ahead and dig in and see how it responds. This is the Nokia Lumia 900. As I do with all my phones, I want to begin by talking about call quality. It doesn't matter how many gigs of RAM it's got, or how many megapixels the camera is, or how many cores the phone has. It's not going to make good phone calls. It's just not going to be worth it for you. This phone makes excellent phone calls. The LTE radio in here actually was extremely strong. With a phone like the Galaxy Note, where I typically drop to 1 to 2 bars of LTE, I was able to get close to 5 bars of LTE almost in most places. Call quality was absolutely excellent. I was able to go through my 20 call test with actually 0 drop calls. A speakerphone volume was also very loud, so if you use this in the car or you want to use it as a speakerphone for meetings, you're not going to have any problems. There is a lot to talk about here from the hardware standpoint. It is a full polycarbonate backed phone, meaning this blue you see right here is blue all the way through to the core. So if you happen to, let's say, scratch the back or nick it, you're not going to see a silver or a black underneath. I really like the way the phone looks and feels in the hand. Nokia is known for their build quality, and the build quality here is absolutely outstanding. The phone is by no means a light device. We're looking at 2.7 inches by 5.03 inches by 0.45 inches, and it weighs 5.6 ounces. One thing that I did notice is using it though, especially with the blue one, it almost looks like a phone inside of a case. Just sort of a funny side note. One point of note though, the phone does have kind of sharp corners, so you're going to want to be careful. Exercise some caution when pulling it out of your pants pocket. One thing that I did find extremely annoying though is the power button on the right side of the phone. Same thing with the Lumia 800. That's the power button, living right there below the volume up and down rocker and above the camera button. Found it really unintuitive and hard to press. Whenever I wanted to find that power button, I couldn't do it just by feel. Overall, I've been extremely impressed with the build quality of the Nokia Lumia 900. Nokia has long been known for the build quality, but folks in the US haven't really had a chance to experience that since Nokia really hasn't had a stronghold here in the United States. When you're holding this phone, you have no doubt that you're holding a premium device, and sort of everything about the phone really reflects that. So the display is 4.3 inches covered in Gorilla Glass. You can put this guy in your pocket with some keys, not have to worry about scratching up the screen, with a resolution of 480 by 800. It's extremely bright and vibrant. The tiles, whatever color you have them at, look very nice. The black is very black. The colors are very rich. However, when you go and look at text, that's really where you see that this is only a resolution of 480 by 800. Now, in previous Nokia phones, I've actually been really happy to have that lower resolution because it makes things bigger. But coming from just testing on Galaxy Note, the HTC One X, and the iPhone 4S, this just isn't cutting it anymore. You can see how pixelated that text looks as I zoom in. It's a gorgeous 4.3-inch display that's held back by Windows Phone's limitations. Microsoft currently doesn't support any resolutions higher than 480 by 800, which is really unfortunate. If you are reading a lot of text, it's certainly legible and you can read, but it doesn't look as crisp as some competitors' offerings. Pictures do look very nice on here. They're bright and they're vibrant as you'd expect from a panel like this, but the lower resolution means you can't watch HD content. From a processor standpoint, it's got a 1.4 gigahertz single core Qualcomm chip. For those of you keeping track at home, it's the APQ8055 chip. RAM, it's got 512 megabytes, 16 gigabytes of internal storage, which is not expandable. Battery, it's a 1,830 milliamp hour battery that Nokia claims is going to get you 7 hours of talk time. I actually found that to be pretty decent. When I do my call a radio station, put it on hold test, I actually got 6 hours and 45 minutes, so just about 7 hours. I did have LTE turned on, so presumably with LTE off, you're going to get a little bit longer talk time. Throughout my daily usage, so taking it off the charger at say 7 a.m. and having 2 emails being checked and pushed, an hour and a half of talk time, some texting, some web browsing. By the time I put it on the charger at night, I would guess that I had about 20% left. I can't tell you the exact battery because you don't get a percentage up at the top, so I'm assuming I was close to about 20%. So you'll have no problem getting through a full day use here. Camera, it's got an 8 megapixel dual LED flash camera that can shoot video in 720p. But that's not the only camera this guy has. It's also got one right there in the front. That is a 1 megapixel sensor. The camera, the 8 megapixel sensor, you hear Carl Zeiss and you think that's going to be super high quality. It is pretty average for a camera phone. And I would have liked to have had 1080p video recording here. It certainly would keep it competitive with what the competitors are offering. But it's fine if you want to shoot videos at your your friends or shoot a couple pictures while you're out and about. One point of note though, this has a hard button for the camera. You really got to give it a good push to make it turn on. If you want to adjust the volume, a light push is going to do that for you. But if you want to use the camera, you really got to get in there and give it a solid push. There's definitely a little bit of lag as well. Zoom is done with the up and down here. You can see it's not smooth, it's a quick stutter. If I want to snap a picture, it's not incredibly slow, but it's really not the fastest ad on the market, especially after just looking something like the HTC One X. The camera is just about passable. It's the same Mango operating system that we covered on the HTC Titan 2, and it's still the same Mango operating system that I love, but now with LTE, which makes it thumbs up awesome. I will say that the speeds I'm getting on LTE are actually faster than I was getting on the Galaxy Note or other LTE devices I tested. That might be due to different applications that test the speed. But I was regularly getting speeds in the 6 down range and 3 or 4 up. So relatively fast. I love Windows Phone. I find it really elegant. The live tile interface here is really nice and easy to use. One of the complaints people have is that the app marketplace isn't well endowed with many applications. And with that, I'm starting to disagree. There are a lot of applications to be found here and a lot of very useful applications. I found equivalents for everything that I do and I use. One nice addition though, if you do get a Nokia phone, there is a whole Nokia collection of applications. ACC Sports, Univision, CNN, ESPN, get some Sesame Street in there. So while I really enjoy Windows Phone, it's actually one of my favorite operating systems out on the market. It's far from perfect. I like to charge my phone when I go to sleep at night. It's constantly buzzing and beeping, and I like to turn it off. I cannot turn this phone off and charge it at the same time. Now, certainly I can go ahead and set it to airplane mode and turn volumes off and set some profiles, but I shouldn't have to. Every other phone can charge while turned off. Why won't Windows Phone? I do wish that there was some sort of classic phone ringtone in here as well. The only options you have for ringtones are all kind of funky noises and sounds. I had to go and download one from a third party. A little bit nitpicky, but I did find it annoying. So when it comes to Windows Phone, you want to focus on user experience. This is not a phone for those that want to overly customize or a phone for those that want to tweak and hack. Android's going to be your best option for those. But if you want a phone that's going to offer a really good user experience, you want a phone that's going to be very smooth, it's going to offer, buttery smooth pinch to zoom. It's going to give you decent app support. This is going to be a great phone. And what makes it an even better phone is that $99 price point. Nokia clearly has a lot riding on this, and I'm assuming is heavily subsidizing the device to get it to that under $100 price point. First release date is April 8th. It's going to be available in black or this here blue, what they're calling cyan, or if you want to hold out for a white model, you can pick that up on April 22nd. If you're in the market for a new phone, I can wholeheartedly recommend the Nokia Lumia 900, especially when compared to the more expensive HTC Titan 2. It's going to set you back $100 more. So if you're looking to hop into Windows Phone, you're unsure what you want, or you just want a phone that's going to work well and work well for 2 years, this one is definitely recommended. It's an alternative to some of the more widespread operating systems that we see. But if it says anything, this is a phone that I've been using as my daily driver, and I intend to use this as my daily driver for this foreseeable future. I'm John Rettinger from Techno Buffalo. Be sure to check us out for all of your tech news, for unboxing, reviews, and of course, hands-on. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.